Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name's Seth. You are now watching Culture Crack, and we are going to jump into a mad one. As I film this, I'm currently watching IShowSpeed live stream, right?
You can't do this. You can't do it. I don't want the fucking money no more, bro. Bro, I don't want the money no more, bro. I don't want to do this no more. Come on.
Bro, stop putting it down. It's 4 speed.
I don't want to do this.
It's going 4 It's going literally 4 miles per hour.
I don't want to do this. It hurts. It
You're
hurts.
at 0.0. Stop. It's 0.0.
This is an off-the-cuff filming because I was just sitting down eating my dinner. I was watching IShowSpeed's live stream, right? I rarely watch his streams, but it looked interesting, so I clicked on. The moment I clicked onto it, right, it was him, and what I found out later was his little brother and another guy filming in a gym, right? And he's basically saying to his little brother, look, I'll give you 100k if you just run a mile on this treadmill, right? And he's trying to convince his brother, and his brother saying, no, I don't want to do it. And his brother saying, no, I don't think I can do it. Like,
Please, bro. Please, bro. I want to do this, bro.
You ready? $100,000, Jamal. If you can run 1 mile.
I want to do this, bro.
1 mile. 15 minutes.
this brings back a bunch of memories for me in a lot of ways. I got an older brother as well, right? And I used to be quite a fat kid, right? And I'm talking as a junior school kid. But my older brother used to proper like put the pressure on me to toughen me up kind of thing. And I understand he was doing it from a righteous place at the time, but as the older I got, the more I started to see a little bit more of how his mentality worked and maybe what might have been behind the reasons why he was treating me like this. But this is no matter. And this isn't about me, but me being triggered by this, I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this will be triggered in the same kind of way, right? Anyways, right, my brother used to be on me about like lose that fat, like you fatty, you chubby, like all of these things, right? Again, he's an older brother and he's trying to make his little brother tough, right? From that perspective, I rate it, I respect it, right? But yeah, like he used to be on me like that as well, right? But there'll be times when he'd make me exercise, right? And they weren't the most easy exercises, right? Things like handstand press-ups and stuff like that. That's not easy exercises, right? But he'd corral me into doing these things. Now, of course, over time I got tougher, but I remember feeling exactly like how IShowSpeed's little brother felt right there at the beginning of the stream when he was like, I don't want to do this, right? And he's saying to him, like, with all emotions flared, I don't want to do this, right? I don't think I can do this, right? It was rough watching it. It really was rough. And I was watching the comments of people like, Maz, bro, it's 100k, just do it right kind of thing. And I get it, right? All money aside, again, of course, his little brother is living a completely different lifestyle to everybody else in the world, pretty much. Most people put it that way. He's the little brother of a multi-millionaire streamer. It's not just any old big brother. You're driving to a gym in a Lamborghini on a live stream for thousands of people, right? The pressure is high for the little brother too, but also his circumstances are very unique. So at first I'm thinking, right, this ain't no big deal, bro. Just do it, innit? Like he's showing him, look, you just got to walk 4 speed on the treadmill, right? But then I started to actually think about it, right, from the Jamal kid's perspective. It's like, this is borderline bullying, right?
I can't do this.
Chat, I think he needs to go faster, chat. I think he needs to go faster. Stop. What the fuck are you doing?
I can't.
Why did you pull it?
I can't.
Bro, I'm not doing it with you, bro.
I can't, bro.
You stopped after 1 minute.
I can't do this.
Why would you pull it?
I can't. It was too fast.
It's quite obvious as the stream goes on, you can see IShowSpeed and his brother had agreed to this, like probably off camera kind of thing, because they end up leaving the gym, they argue in the car. Like, it was very entertaining. I must say, it was very entertaining. But I don't know if he was meant to be entertaining in this way kind of thing, right? Or else a big man like me would be talking about it, right? You know what I'm saying? It was very interesting. Now, like I said, right, I was in the middle of eating my dinner. I probably still got a bit of food in my braces, right? This is how off the cuff real this moment is for me, right? I'm watching them argue back and forth, right? And I'm seeing IShowSpeed say to him, basically, bro, just do this, bro. You're gonna regret this kind of thing, right? Like, and he's telling him all these things. But then, although I know IShowSpeed has the best intentions for his little brother, like he started to do a certain like manipulation tactic to him, which again was like kind of triggering. It's like, all right, we're going home then. You're going home then. Like all of these things, like these little like, I'm gonna take this away from you, like kind of things, right? Yes, the little brother, like, you should be willing to help yourself, right, by walking this mile, right? Not only that, you're also helping your brother with the stream, but your brother's also helping you, right? Making you a popular person amongst the interneters, right? And he says it in one point of the stream, bro. Like, you're going to go to a stream at university. I'm like literally trying to set you up for life kind of thing as a bigger brother, which is dope, right? And at the same time, IShowSpeed, like, if it would have gone all smooth, right? And little brother was just like, just a fat kid, with all due respect, And he was just like, you know, I'm going to run the mile as a challenge, right? Win, lose or draw, I'm going to do it, right? And it was all positive. It would have worked the way I assume IShowSpeed and his team planned it, kind of thing. Let's go in there, let's motivate these kids to get fit, right? Summer's coming, the kids are growing up and they need to get more healthy, right? It's a righteous cause, but I think it went a little bit wonky, right? And again, if able to, right? I'll put in a few clips from the bits that I think were a bit like, yo, this is a little bit shaky.
You don't want to fucking walk
I don't want to fucking walk him out. I don't.
Then why would you agree to it yesterday?
I didn't agree to it.
Yes, you
No,
did.
the fuck I did. No, the fuck I
literally
did.
told you.
Yeah, you told me. And I said,
I
I told you. And I said, I think it was a good idea. I literally fucking told you that shit.
You didn't say I didn't want to do it.
No, I did say that shit. No, I did say that shit.
Bro.
Just go home, bro. GG's. It's a wrap.
Chat, bro, he did not complete the fucking challenge.
Oh yeah, challenge. Big whoop. We didn't complete the challenge. Just go home. No shopping spree. Retire the video. Let's live stream actually.
You really testing me right now.
How am I testing you? You testing me?
Really, like,
Fuck all that.
Chat, he did not complete the challenge, bro. He wasted the time. He wasted everybody's time. Too spoiled, bro. See, that's what happens when people too spoiled and shit, bro. Like, nah, fuck that, bro.
I don't give a fuck, bro. Call me whatever you want. I ain't doing this shit no
I'm not
more.
calling nobody, bro. What are you talking about, bro? You going home.
Yeah, good.
I'm
going back home.
Yes, bro. You want to go back home, go home, bro.
Yeah, please do.
You need some discipline? Chat, I'm not going to be a one, chat. I'm not trying anymore. Oh, God, I'm not trying.
Good. Let's go.
I'm not going to be a one trying anymore. I'm not.
I don't like seeing people argue in general, but also don't like seeing a brother and brother arguing, right? Especially for the entertainment of the world, right? Not to like be a bit, not like to like dig into these niggas' chests, right? Well, I don't like seeing black boys argue like that in front of the world, right? Because yes, it is a real thing that's happening, but at the same time, they're not a fucking circus, you know? It's a real moment happening in like reality TV, real time kind of thing, but it's a real fucking moment, right? Like you see a little bit of the realness of their relationship come out, right? Just like by accident. The language they use, the way they're speaking to each other, the setting is like, shit, man. This is a real fucking moment, right? Whether or not it's actually scripted or not, I don't know. I don't really care, right? But it was enough while I was sitting there stuffing my fat face to make me get off my ass and say, fuck, this is mad, right? So the question I'm asking myself is, did Speed do the right thing? The kid refuses to do it, basically. Gets on the treadmill. Speed is pressing the button for him to go up. He's like, look, you have to do it in 15 minutes or else it's going to be impossible kind of thing, right? The kid's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it kind of thing, right? And he's doing, like, and again, I also had a friend like that, right, in high school. Pretty much exactly the same as this guy, right? Pretty much exactly the fucking same, with all due respect, right? And it's obvious that it's a struggle for him to do this. But what's also obvious a little bit later in the stream is that this kid has clearly been training to be able to do this, right? But it was just either a little bit of insecurity, the pressure from the situation, or the pressure from the stream, which made him kind of be angsty about doing it, right? Probably a combination of all those things. You've got to remember, he's a teenage kid as well. Like, insecurity is mad, right? All of that aside, right? The kid's weight and his build is definitely going to make him struggle with a task like this. There's the positive half of what IShowSpeed is doing, but there's also a more like slightly manipulative part of what he's doing, right? Because you've got to remember, he's kind of turning his little brother into a circus act by making him perform in this manner, right? Although it's good for the stream, it's good for his little brother's health, it's good to motivate other kids and shit, he's essentially become today's show's gimmick, right? But he's still your fucking brother, right? When the cameras go off and all that shit, he's still your brother. Even if he gets over this situation in the future, right, he might still hold some deeper resentment about this moment in his life, right? Because we don't know what it's like when the cameras go off. If Speed is nice to him or if he punches him out, like, you don't know, right? You really don't know, right? And again, this is what kind of throws it back to a very real triggering place as an adult. I know what it's like to be the Jamal kid. I fully understand, but at the same time, I know what it's like to try and motivate people to save themselves, right? So it's very difficult. Speed has the right idea, but I think he just went about it in the wrong way this time.
You can't, bro, Chad, you cannot let this get, Chad, you can't let people get shit for free. You gotta have them work for it.
I don't care. I don't even have to go on shopping spree, bro. I don't want to do it.
You're going to do it. Okay, here we go.
Do I have a say in this?
You do not. The chat does. Bro, you can walk the whole time and still make it 15 minutes, bro. Bro, average time is 10 minutes for a male. I should give him less time.
No,
I should give him less time.
I don't want to do this, bro. I don't want to do this, bro. Like, I don't have a say in this.
Bro, wait, shut your goddamn. All right, 15. That's it. Okay, 15, bro. I'm gonna keep it at 15. You got it. Like, why you act like you can't do this, bro? It's easy. A mile is not as much as you think it is, bro. A mile is not as much as you really think it is, bro. I promise you, bro.
It's important to try and help people in any way you can, but when you have to force someone to help themselves, you ain't gonna get the results you expect to get, right? For them and for you, right? So anyways, like, they get in the car, they argue, they drive away, right? Young brother's just like basically cussing and he's saying like F all this, F all that, I don't care about this, I don't care about the money, I don't care, right? I don't care, right? Whatever, bruv, I don't care, right? He's gone in, he's shut down, emotionally he's shutting down, right? He's saying, I don't care, right? He's putting that fuck it kind of thing. But then, as they're driving away and Speed's getting more in his ear, I don't know, maybe there's like a little bit when it went to break kind of thing and they're like, look bro, remember you agreed to do this kind of thing, if you don't do this, it's gonna F up the channel. Maybe something like that happened. But at some point on the drive away from the gym, the little brother's like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it, Ren, I'll do it, right? So they head back to the gym and he goes to do this, the challenge, right? So they go into the gym and you can see the kid actually has some ethic in this training, right? He doesn't complete the challenge the way he's supposed to do it, but he gives it a shot, right? And then they call up the dad. It doesn't reach the audience the way it's supposed to, right? Because the way it's delivered. Probably a large percentage of Speed's audience is probably in the same position as his little brother is. I mean, in physical shape wise, definitely not material gain wise or even connection wise, right? But a large portion of that audience is like that. And as I'm watching the comments, some of them are saying L, 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 you know, like kids being kids, are like gay, 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 right? So they're like, they're killing him, but at the same time, there's another group of the kids that you can see in between. They're like, call 911, bro, call 911, right? This ain't right kind of thing, right? And it's very mixed in the chat, right? Again, I think what Speed was trying to do is the right thing, but I think he went about it in the wrong way, right? And in terms of long-lasting effects, I think this isn't going to be good for him and his little brother's relationship and for his little brother's psychology. Now, his little brother might turn out to be like a great guy, right? Get in shape, be a sportsman, whatever he decides to do, right? Maybe he stays the same. Maybe he regresses and gets worse as time goes on. We'll have to see, right? But this moment, I don't know if there's any other moments like this in this show with this kid, right? I don't know, right? So I don't watch it often. I saw it and it looked like an interesting challenge, so I watched it, right? But this is like, at the age he is now, he's probably going to be able to easily forget about it, right? But at some point in the future, this kind of moment is going to trigger him, right? And it can lead to a very deep resentment. And you got to add in the fact that he's the little brother of a famous YouTuber, right? A rich, famous YouTuber. And whether he likes it or not, he is the gimmick of the day, right? So there's a level of exploitation there, which is really kind of fucked up. But the game is the game, you know? I'm pretty sure Speed is going to look after him and is looking after him for this live stream, but psychologically, that's going to play a part in their relationship down the line, right? If it hasn't already.
That's what I'm saying, though. You don't get it. I'm just trying to help him, bro.
I don't want to lose weight.
It's not about losing
Yes,
weight,
it is.
bro.
What is it about?
It's about discipline. This is a fucking plan.
We can do different shit than discipline.
Discipline.
It's a different
You have no
type of
fucking
discipline.
discipline.
Man, I don't give a fuck, bro.
You have no discipline.
I do not care. This is not discipline. This is fucking working out. This is fucking working out.
All right, bro.
All I'm doing is working out.
Bro, I want to drop him off, bro.
Drop me off there, please.
Drop him off.
Please drop me off. Please drop me off.
You're gonna see once you get older, bro. You a kid right now, bro.
I don't
You're
care.
16.
Do not care.
You're gonna see when you get older.
Do not care. Let's go.
You're gonna see when you turn 18, bro.
Let's just go.
You're gonna see.
Let's just go.
Like, why did I start my stream up, title this shit, and I'm driving back home? I'm gonna give you one more chance. You sure you wanna go back? I'm gonna give you one more fucking chance.
What the fuck are you talking about?
To go back, we're only 1 minute, 2 minutes away.
All right,
Right
go
now.
back there. Go back there.
See, I knew it, bro.
Fucking go back. I don't want to hear your mouth no more. Let's go back, bro.
See, I knew it, bro.
I don't want to hear your mouth no more, bro.
You don't want to regret this. Like, you gonna regret it. I swear
Bro,
to
just
God.
go back, bro. I just don't want to hear your mouth no more.
How do I
This
take
whole
you
car back. You just gonna cry about this whole ride, bro. Turn right.
There's something to be said, right, for the fact that his brother is evidently a bit of a spoiled brat, right? And that's a part that you have to be quite kind of hard on him, right? In all honesty, the brother is evidently quite a spoiled brat based on his attitude, how he's giving pushback to Speed at first, right? Now, of course, he might not want to work out, like, who does, right? There's the manipulation tactic that Speed is using himself to get his little brother to commit to this challenge and actually go through with it. And on the other end, there's the manipulation tactics that the little brother's using, like the crybaby kind of, you know, if I turn up the tears here or if I act this way, then maybe I can get him to get off my back kind of thing, right? And again, right, I was a little brother, so I understand it. I know what it looks like, right? So there's a level of the little brother just being a straight up brat, right? In all honesty, he's not an average kid with lower than average means. Now, I get where they come from, might be a different thing, but shit, Speed's been successful for a while, right? Let's be honest here, right? So the little brother is definitely living not only in the shadow of his older brother, but in the luxury of his older brother at the same time, right? His brattiness also represents a large portion of the audience that Speed has as well, right? This I don't have to do anything, right? Even if it's good for me kind of thing. Who cares about $100,000, right? And then obviously there's lots of poor and broke kids in the chat, right? Who their main concern is, oh my God, if someone would just give me the opportunity to do anything for £100,000, I would fucking do it, right? And you can tell, right? Just by watching the chat. That same idea of, it doesn't matter how much motivation you give me, right? If it's money, if it's emotional want, if it's for my own good, right? I'm not doing it, right? Simply because I don't want to and I don't have to, right? And that attitude will actually kill his brother in the long run, right? So again, although I see a certain part of him that I resonate with, I also see a certain part of him that he himself needs to get away from, he needs to get over and get rid of, right? It's very childish. Again, he's a young kid, right? He's a teenager, about 16, right? So he ain't got it all together. Like, who did? Like, do you know who had it all together at 16? But if he doesn't get out of that, I don't have to kind of thing, and I could just turn on the crocodile tears and get what I want kind of thing, he's in for a hard ride in the future. And I think that's the lesson that his older brother's trying to show him. Although his older brother is exploiting him a bit, a little bit of bullying as well, older sibling kind of shit, right? If he doesn't get out of that, right, he's heading for a hard place in the future. And again, like I just said, a lot of Speed's audience is represented by his little brother. Like how his little brother is a lot of Speed's audience.
You got 15 minutes.
I got you.
You just gotta move your damn... Okay. When the last time you ran? You don't even remember. You don't even remember the last time?
I remember.
When?
2016. Is that bad? No, my fault. 2017. I'm sorry. What? That's bad.
The last time you ran was in 2017, bro.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Bro, I was 12 years old. You had to be maybe fucking... If I was 12, you was like 8.
Yeah, I was 8.
So the last time you ran was when you was 8 years old.
Yeah. Is that bad? What's wrong with that?
So there's something to be said for the spectacle that people make out of the overweight or obese people, right? Especially when you put them in exploitative positions of lose weight or feel shame, right? Personally, I don't think shame is a good way of teaching or learning or in any capacity, truthfully. A lot of people would disagree with me, but personally, I live by a kind of motto is shame is for the weak and by the weak, right? Because what shaming someone really says is that you have no ability to physically exert power over this person anyway. All you could do is psychologically try to tame them or treat them in a bad way, which isn't good for the person, regardless if you... So like, a lot of people have this idea in the fitness world, shame people into getting fit, right? No, that's a terrible idea, right? Because what that creates is eating disorders and real bad body dysmorphia, right? No matter how much you try to shame someone into being the better them, they will never be able to be the better them in full confidence and like comfortable as their self, right? Because in their mind, your voice and your ideology of shaming them is constantly on replay. So even if his little brother, as an example, gets down to the ideal weight and he's safe to live a healthy life and all this stuff, in his mind, he's never going to be able to see himself, as he really is, right? That is what shame does, and I think it's a very dangerous thing. But because it creates this spectacle of, oh, like, you're fat because you're lazy, right? You're fat because you eat a lot, kind of, like, you know what I mean? Wherever there is truth to be found in that, right? Shaming them doesn't help them. Educating them helps them, right? Teaching them how to eat, teaching them how to train helps them. When you slap up a group of people in like a My 500 Pound Life or whatever these shows are, and you're like, push them through these like training camps, which really is really just a psychological torture for the audience's enjoyment, right? Which is really what it is. 90% of these people relapse and gain the weight back really fast, right? If they don't get sick whilst trying to lose the weight. It's not helpful, right? When trying to help someone crosses into the boundaries of just entertaining people, it truthfully is an act of bullying, right? And ironically, it's shameful, right? Do you know what I'm saying? The attempt to shame someone in itself is shameful, right? Again, it's for the weak by the weak, right? It's no real power to control, no real power to change, right? The strong lift people up with them. They don't break people down, right? That's what the strong do. But not everyone has arrived at that place yet. And you can't be the strong in everything in your life too, right? Sometimes you have to be the hand reaching up to be pulled up, right? But yeah, it's very sad because, like I said, even right now, as I sit here, belly bloated from my dinner, just like half being digested as I sit here and talk, I'm not in the greatest shape, right? I'm not in the best shape I've been in my life for a very long time. I've not been in a good shape for a while, right? I had an operation quite recently, which didn't allow me to train. It didn't even allow me to eat food, right? But even prior to that, there's many times where it's been like, yeah, I'm trying to get healthy, but I relapse and then I put on weight and, you know, I bulk. I overbulk, I dream of bulk, right? You know, like this is a real thing, right? So once that is like ingrained in you from a young age that your body image is bad or you're not right, you're not good enough as you are kind of thing, it's going to be with you forever in life, right? And you're going to have ups and downs, right? It's very hard to maintain a solid thing even if you worked really hard for it, right? So I feel that pain. And again, like I said, I was a little fat kid and I was a little bit of a cheeky shit as a little kid. So I can understand how my brother's attitude towards me could have been warranted, right? regardless of our actual like me diving into why is it he thinks like this and does the things he does, why is it that I think like this and do the things I do, kind of things, right? Which we could talk about in a whole nother video, right? And if you're watching, bro, like, I still love you, but you know what I mean, I'm just being honest here, and you know I'm being honest as well, right? So regardless if I was bratty, I was a fat shit or not, there was another way to go about it. That's what I would say, right? And I say the same for people like Speed, right? Whether your intentions were completely positive and like you're somebody right now out there trying to get a friend, a family member, a colleague or whatever, you're just trying to help someone become the best them, you can't do it through shaming them, right? Yes, a certain amount of pressure is important to actually to put people into fight or flight mode, right? But remember, there's fight, flight and freeze, right? So consider that when you're trying to help them. You don't want to cause damage in the future just by thinking you're making temporary progress by making them run on a treadmill, right? Fitness, like learning, is a lifelong pursuit. You don't just get fit and stay fit. You have to equip yourself with the knowledge, one, right? And then the ability to act on the discipline and use the knowledge you have, right? You force a man to run on a treadmill today, right? That doesn't actually necessarily translate into a healthier life in the future, building healthy habits, right? So I think, although like it's supposed to just be a spectacle of a stream and somewhat exploitative, I'd say, right, if I could offer some help, right, or just a word of advice kind of thing, teach your brother first what he needs to know about maintaining a healthier lifestyle and having a healthier mindset, and then slowly ease him into the habit of being with you in the gym, right? Being with you when you eat good food, right? Being with you when you learn about these things, so he kind of takes this mindset and goes on, right? And your audience can be exactly the same. You can reach your audience through your little brother in the right way, if you could, right? But again, I'm not saying you didn't have the purest intentions and that is exactly what you were trying to do. If that was what you was trying to do, and the fact that it was scripted down to the point where your little brother is actually giving you this pushback, right, to demonstrate how hard it is to get through to somebody, then hats off to you, right? Because that's an excellent job, excellent acting, excellent scripted if that's the case. But chances are a little bit of it went a little bit of a riot, right? But the truth is, on that note too, right, the pushback that his little brother gave him, right, while his older brother's giving him such a great easy opportunity to complete, right, whether or not he succeeded or not, his older brother is providing him with, for some people, an opportunity of a lifetime, right? Whether he gets to 100 grand or not, to be on a stream with your older brother doing this thing in front of thousands of people is an opportunity of a lifetime in itself, right? Many people will die for, many people will kill for. The pushback that his little brother gave him, off of the strength of that, is something that people shouldn't take lightly either, right? Because it can be very hard to help people if they don't understand that they need to help themselves, right? If they won't take your hand while you reach down to them to pull them up, then you have to be careful, right? And one of the things that crossed my mind as well, right, before I realised it was actually his blood brother, when he was saying to him, no, I don't want to do this, I can't do this, right, I was thinking, he's going to sue Speed, bruv. He's going to sue him, right? And again, I hope it doesn't, but you can see how this little tiff kind of thing could fracture into something bigger like that down the line, right? Embarrassment, like defamation, like all of these kinds of things, like I told you I didn't want to do this and you forced me to do it kind of thing, like, you know what I'm saying? You can see that kind of thing coming of it. So for anyone else that was watching as well, consider that when you're trying to help people, first, you need to make them aware that they need help and that they can be in a place to accept help. And second, don't try to trick anyone into becoming a better person, right? So it's not going to end well, right? So you're not Speed, right? So just be careful with how you treat people, your friends, your family, whoever, right? Just be careful, right? People are a lot more fragile than you think they are. And like I just said, as me as a random English stranger watching that triggered certain things in me, right? So imagine other people that haven't even thought about these past memories that they have of these things. Like, they're not even aware that when they see Speed trying to get his little brother to run a mile, that it's bringing up all these issues in their mind, and they're just like, what is this? Like, they move with rage and anger out of that point, right? Now, I'm not inciting any of that at all, right? Again, I think what Speed was trying to do was the right thing, right? I just think he went about it in the wrong way. I think this should be like, and it's ironic that and you know what, now that I think about it, this might be the same kind of playbook he's pulling from Kai Cenat, and I think the dude's name is Phantom or something like that. So they got a fatter friend, right, a bigger friend, and they're always trying to like finesse him into losing weight kind of thing, and he's always like, no, fuck you, basically eating food is my brand kind of thing. That might actually have been where it came from, right? So anyways, you got to bring him along for the journey to educate him on how to be better. It's cool that you're trying to make it family friendly and all that. I rate it, right? I respect it. But again, a spectacle is a spectacle. I don't like to see two brothers argue in the street, and I don't like to see two brothers argue on the internet, especially with thousands of strangers looking at them, right? I wish his little brother all the best, and I wish Speed all the best, but think about what I'm saying here. So you tell me what you think, right? Was Speed in the right for trying to get his little brother to run a mile for 100 grand, right? Or was he wrong for bullying him past the point where he didn't want to do it? Or was little brother just being a spoilt brat and he had an opportunity to do something that millions of people would just do, right? Tell me what you think, right? And I know I brought myself into it with my own emotions a little bit, but I actually understand how that must have felt, right? Because I've felt something like that before. That's why it's so triggered, right? So emotionally engaged, right? But anyways, right, big up to Speed. I'm not a hater of you, and I'm not particularly a fan either, right? But it was interesting to watch, and it was something to learn, right? So tell me what you think. Did he do the right thing or did he do the wrong thing, right? So particularly for this topic, I think it's important that I say this, and I say this almost every time on every live stream you see me do. The running joke is that I'm never able to actually say it in a concise manner, but I'll try my best to do it this time, right? As human beings, we have evidence to suggest that we are capable of absolutely anything, given enough time and enough resources. So if there's something you want to achieve that seems impossible and people tell you can't do that, you can't do it like this, you can't do it like that, all you need to do is envision what this dream or this idea looks like in its final stage, right? Then it becomes a goal. And all you need to do is reverse engineer it from its final state right into our reality by finding out what your first step needs to be. And then from that point, you got your roadmap and you can do it, right? Same thing with this matter. You could do it. Just take your time, right?